Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Vibe. This is a special edition because you know that this channel is about teaching parents how to help their children in school and everyday life. Well, today's edition is very different. This edition is, first of all, I'm here with Trina Jones, who is founder and CEO of Learning Ability Advocacy, LLC. And what she does is she empowers parents to help their kids with special needs, and she helps them to know their rights. So what made you get into this line of work, Trina? Could you tell our viewers more about it?
Well, I'm going to say thank you so much for having me on your show. Um, I think I'm a firm believer that God makes your misery your ministry. I have three children, 20, 17, and 10. But my 17-year-old, when she started kindergarten, it it was miserable for us. She stayed in the nurse's office. She stayed in the principal's office. I would go to the school conferences and none of her work would be done. And her teacher really wasn't collaborating with me or working with me. And I remember the struggle of her like not wanting to go to school. And I remember going to the school and I stated, hey, something is not right here. Something is off. I think she has dyslexia. And I remember the school saying to me, she's too early to detect if she has dyslexia. It's a behavioral issue. And I believed that there was something wrong with the school stating that it was a behavioral issue. And I didn't know how to find any help. So finally, we got her an ETR, which is an evaluation that led to us an IEP meeting. And I remember sitting in my car and crying because I felt helpless. I felt intimidated going to those meetings. I felt alone. And it took me a lot of years to learn about the special education process, what exactly my child deserved, what my rights were. And I said to myself, if I'm somebody that's struggling to find this information, how many other parents are out there struggling to find this information? So learning abilities advocacy started out of, a space in my life where I was miserable. My family was miserable. My daughter was not learning. Her behavior was, you know, not normal. It was just horrible. And it came out of me wanting to provide her with the best life, but not having the tools at that time to give her those things when it came to her education.
Okay, so what advice would you have to give to a parent in your same situation? Like, what is it that specifically that you would do to help them? Like, are you able to, can they contact you so you can walk them through the process?
Yes. So I started learning abilities advocacy to help parents go through the special education process. I believe that the relationship between the parents and the school should be collaborative and transparent. And that sometimes happens and sometimes it does not. So when I have a parent that contacts me, depending on where they are in the special education process, whether they're in the beginning, whether they've been in the system for a while, I make sure that their rights are being met and their voices are being heard. So I will sometimes go in and observe the student in the classroom for a few days, different settings. And then I ask the teachers, what are you seeing throughout the day? And my goal is to bring everyone back and let's work together to make sure that this child has a successful and fair education.
Okay, and are there any resources that the parents, like, is there any tutoring?
Yes. So I'm aware of a lot of resources and I do direct my families to different resources. So there's, different resources that give you grant money for tutoring for your child. And that's the thing too. Sometimes, for particular, let me say, I have two daughters that are dyslexic with ADHD. So with students that are dyslexia, there are certain reading methods that need to be in place in order for the student to learn and retain the information. Most students that are dyslexic learn to memorize, words and letters and things of that nature. You want your child to know it, because on a day that they can't remember it, they'll struggle. So there's
Right.
certain reading approaches that I would suggest that our parents look for tutors. And the grant program, as I'm helping them fill out the application, submitting it to the grant organization, if they're approved, we look for tutors that specialize with students with dyslexia or dysgraphia or dyscalculia. So I really want my parents to know that sometimes not every tutor will do, that there's specifics they need to be asking for. And there are things in the school with the accommodation that their children receive in their IEPs or their 504 plans that they should make sure that are implemented so their child can be successful.
Okay, now you mentioned a 401 plan. Can you explain to our viewers what that is? Because they may not know.
So it's actually called a 504 plan.
Okay, 504.
And so a 504 plan is part of the special education process. So the difference between an IEP and a 504 is this. An IEP really helps a child that needs academic assistance. So more so to bring up their grades, to learn on the level that they're in. A 504 plan is like, okay, you just need a little extra accommodation. So you might need extended time to take a test. So for an example, if a child has anxiety, the parent can bring in a note from the doctor that says, my child, John, has anxiety. Then the school will say, well, what can we do to help John be successful in the school? And it may be, okay, John needs extended time in math because math makes the child anxiety, elevate. So a 504 plan is really just what we can the physical environment to accommodate the child to be successful.
Okay. All right. So is there a website or that you can give everyone to go to?
Sure. My website is www.laagroup.org. My Facebook is Learning Abilities Advocacy. And my phone number is 216-548-2820. And I will be more than willing to help. If you really don't need assistance, you just have a few questions, I will create an action plan that parents can follow along on their own. If they really feel like they need someone to go with them to the meetings, I can also do that for the parents as well.
Okay. All right. Well, and also it's important that I let the viewers know that this is for people who are in Northeast Ohio, right?
I'm based physically in Northeast Ohio, yes, but I can also help parents nationwide because the state and federal laws are pretty much the same for education. I may have to do a little bit of digging as far as their state laws, but I can make sure that their child has the right accommodations.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Trina, for giving us that information. And, I hope that our parents give me comments to let me know what they think of this show. And thank you so much for agreeing to come on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Hey, you too. And all of you viewers out there, thank you so much for watching. All right. Have a nice day, everybody. Bye-bye.